In the first 5 months of 2026, US companies cut 97,000 jobs, and AI was the most cited reason. Tech alone lost 123,000. The narrative was clean. AI was arriving, humans were expensive, and the math was obvious. Except there was one problem. 29% of companies that fired workers for AI have already rehired them. Another study found 55% of employers regret the decision entirely, and a new Gartner analysis of the entire AI layoff wave reached a single, devastating conclusion. Zero correlation to higher RV. The great AI replacement isn't working, and the more I looked into it, the stranger the story became. The pitch was irresistible. AI would handle customer service, write code, analyze data, manage supply chains. Every CEO heard the same consultant deck: reduce headcount, deploy models, capture margin. The word efficiency appeared in every earnings call. Between 2024 and early 2026, the 4 largest tech companies, Microsoft, Amazon, Google, and Meta, committed nearly $700 billion to AI infrastructure. $700 billion, that's more than the GDP of most countries. And workers paid the price first. Gartner found that 80% of companies piloting AI reduced their workforce. The message from the C-SHEP was unified. This technology will make humans redundant, and we're acting early. But then the data started coming in. The first crack appeared quietly. Forrester Research surveyed companies that had cut staff specifically for AI. 55% regretted it. 2 out of 3 were already in the process of rehiring. Then Forbes published the number that should have ended the entire conversation. 29% of companies that cut staff for AI had already brought workers back. And the small print was worse. Gartner found no correlation between those cuts and improved return on investment. None. The companies that fired people didn't perform better. Think about that for a second. The largest workforce restructuring of the decade, and it didn't even work on its own terms. And that's when I realized the AI layoff wave wasn't a workforce trend. It was a cultural phenomenon. A story companies told themselves. The Rand Corporation studied this from a different angle. They looked at the actual implementations companies were cutting workers to fund. More than 80% of AI projects fail. That's twice the failure rate of normal IT projects. S&P Global showed 42% of companies abandoned most of their AI initiatives in 2025. The pattern is unmistakable. Companies fire people, deploy AI, discover the AI doesn't work, and quietly try to undo the damage. Gartner now predicts that by 2027, 50% of companies that cut customer service staff for AI will rehire those workers, just under different job titles. But here's what nobody is talking about. The AI layoff wave is only half the story. The other half is what's happening to the workers who stayed. The Harvard Business Review published a study in February 2026 that dismantled the second half of the AI promise. 67% of workers reported working more hours, and 88% of heavy AI users reported clinical, measurable burnout. The mechanism is ruthless. AI handles the repetitive tasks, so management assigns more complex work, then more, then more. One study summarized it. AI makes you 3 times more productive and produces 200% more stress with 0 more output. This is the AI productivity paradox. The same technology that was supposed to replace workers is burning out the ones it left behind. But the story gets bigger. That $700 billion I mentioned earlier, the AI infrastructure spending by Microsoft, Amazon, Google, and Meta, analysts are now calling it what it is, an overbuild. Independent research found big tech overbuilt AI infrastructure by approximately 1,600% relative to actual demand. 1,600%. The Fortune 500 collectively spent $17.5 billion on AI services. The hyperscalers built capacity for nearly $300 billion in demand. Microsoft quietly began cancelling data center leases in early 2025. The signal was unmistakable. Even the companies selling the AI revolution were realizing they'd built too much. Oliver Wyman published a formal analysis titled "How an AI Bubble Burst Could Shake Global Financial Markets." They describe a systemic risk to the entire financial system. In the 19th century, an economist named William Stanley Jevons noticed something strange. When steam engines became more efficient, coal consumption didn't decrease. It exploded. More efficiency made coal cheaper per unit, which made people use vastly more coal overall. The AI industry is now colliding with its own Jevons paradox. Making AI cheaper and more accessible hasn't reduced the demand for human labor. It's revealed how much human labor was doing that nobody measured. Judgment, context, the ability to know when the obvious answer is wrong. The machine gives you the answer, but only a human knows when to ignore it. A BCG study published in April 2026 found that AI will reshape 50 to 55% of US jobs over the next 2 to 3 years. But reshape, not replace. For most workers, the job survives. It just requires a different kind of intelligence. And that's the structural contradiction at the center of this entire story. The question was never, can AI replace humans? The real question, the one the data is forcing companies to confront, is what kind of humans become more valuable because of AI? Every major study now points to the same conclusion. The AI revolution isn't eliminating the need for skilled people. It's revealing how much skill was invisible in the first place. The companies that are quietly rehiring have learned something that should have been obvious. You can't automate judgment. You can't scale context. You can't deploy a model to understand the difference between what a customer said and what they meant. The 55% of employers who regret AI layoffs aren't admitting failure. They're admitting they misunderstood what human labor actually does. The AI revolution isn't ending, it's maturing. And the companies that survive won't be the ones replacing humans fastest. They'll be the ones figuring out how humans and AI actually work together. If you enjoy deep documentaries exploring AI, business strategy, and the hidden forces shaping the future of technology, subscribe to Future Nerve. I'm Ethan Cole, and I'll see you in the next documentary. The future belongs to those who understand it first.